My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Orphan Forced Kill. And this is a movie that I had zero expectations for. Like when I heard they were making a prequel to Orphan with the same actress coming back to play the same character, I thought this was going to be an embarrassing mess. Like the whole point of the first movie is that you got a kid actress who looks like a kid, and since that movie came out, lots of time has passed. She's grown up quite a bit, and now she's playing the same character at a younger age. I was just like, there's no way, just no way this is going to be any good. But consider me surprised. I had a good time with this movie, and they do pull it off. I imagine it's a mixture of the aging technology of a double and Isabel walking on her knees a bit, but they really do pull it off. For the first 10-20 minutes, I was like fixated on trying to figure out how they did it, trying to spot the differences. But after that opening scene, I completely forgot all about it, and I was just able to get invested in the story it was trying to tell me. So kudos to the filmmaker, William Brent Bell, because he pulled it off. It seemed like an impossible task, but he pulled it off. So truly kudos. And I do think Isabel Foreman does give yet another great performance as Esther. I think she's kind of become iconic by this point, and you can just see why. She plays a character so incredibly well, whether she's trying to showcase certain emotions that she's not really feeling, or she's trying to do some really dark and uncomfortable stuff. She pulls it off incredibly well. But that said, I will say the rest of the cast didn't impress me. I was trying to figure out who played the mom, and then I looked it up. I'm like, oh, it's Julia Stiles from 10 Things I Hate About You. I can't think of the last time I saw her in anything. Unfortunately, though, I don't think she was very good in this movie. I don't think Wasef Sutherland was all too good either. You've also got Masu Finland, who, not all too good either. And then you've also got Hiro Kanagawa, who I didn't think gives a good performance either. So, good lead performance, but the rest of the performances left plenty to be desired. And I do think this movie has a good story. In fact, for the first little bit, it was exactly what I was expecting it to be. And then the movie takes a really bold decision, I found. And at first, I was unsure about it, but by the end, I was just like, you know what? This is working for me. It's not where I expected the movie to go, but it really allows it to stand out, and it kind of feels like it took some elements from the first movie, but also with a new spin on them. So I really dug the approach they took to this movie, and in some ways, it's very ambitious. You know, it's not trying to be this simple horror movie where you know exactly which way it's going to go. It's trying to be a bit more than that. Now, that said, I don't think the execution is always perfect. I think the biggest flaw of this movie is actually the one time. At 1 hour and 40 minutes long, I wanted it to be much longer. In fact, I think this movie could have been 2 hours, 2 hours and 10 minutes. And I know that sounds ridiculous because I'm always a guy who says every movie needs to be much shorter. But this one, with what it's trying to do, I think it would be effective if we got a bit more time and just developed the characters and the story and what it's trying to do a bit more, so it felt a bit tighter, because in some instances it does feel like it's just trying to move to the next scene. It does feel really rushed. And I would have liked it if it just took its time a bit more. And I do think this movie gets better as it progresses. In the first act, I actually took some notes because there were some things that bothered me, but those issues went out the window after a certain moment, and it does end with a very exciting climax. And I also do like the character of Esther. I think there's lots of complexities to her, that she's not just this evil psychopath, but she has this terrible disease, and because of that, she'll never be viewed as a normal person. She'll never be viewed by any guy, and there's a level of darkness to her that you understand where she's coming from. She's still wrong and evil, but there's a bit more to her than that. But there is something I do quickly want to bring up, and I'm going to try to say this the best I can without giving anything away. But there was one movie that came out last year that I had a good time with, Don't Breathe 2, and everybody hated that movie. They all had the same complaint about it, and I'm just saying, this movie does the exact same thing and I'm hearing diddly squat about it. So I'm just saying that there seems to be some certain inconsistencies. But anyways, I do like the character of Esther, and I do like some of the visuals in this movie, especially with the blacklight. I do wish it came more into play with the last act because I felt like they were building it up, but it's still nice while you see it. In fact, they use it in the end credits, and I actually thought it gave the end credits a very unique, creepy feel to it that I totally dug. Some of the music doesn't fit the scene it's playing in. There's a few scenes early on with very playful music, and it doesn't fit the tone. And I do think some of the directing by William Brent Bell, who has made some very bad movies before, The Devil Inside is a terrible piece of crap. I don't like either of the boy movies. And this is his best movie easily, and it's his best directed movie, but there's still a few moments where you're like, this could have been done more effectively, and the sound's a bit off there, and the scene could be a bit more intense. It's not a great directed movie, but look, this movie is a fun, goofy horror movie. It takes some bold directions, it has a great lead performance, and I'd rather a horror movie take some wild swings than never to swing at all, and I had a good time with it. Definitely flawed, definitely needed to be longer, definitely needed to take its time a bit more, but I enjoyed it. So I'm going to go ahead and give Orphan Forced Kill a 6 out of 10. I do want to say one thing that really bothered me is that I live in Canada, and I heard this movie was going to be on Paramount Plus, so I got the free trial just to watch this movie, but it turns out in Canada, it's not on Paramount Plus. So I canceled my subscription immediately, so I wasted my free trial, and I just rented this movie online. It's just really frustrating that I could have used that later on and watched Evil or something else, and I'm just ticked off that you hear it's coming to Paramount Plus, but they don't specify which countries, and it's just, whatever. But have you seen Orphan Forced Kill? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. Stay tuned for some more videos soon, and Gavin out.